Good morning to all of you here. Yes, good morning, children. Now, that day we left at this vector. We were doing vector, and this is the vector I was explaining to you, which is PBR322. This diagram is given in your NCERT book and very important, very important. So, when I was telling you the properties of vector, first of all, what is a vector? Vector is something which will carry your desired gene into the host. That is vector, na? Vector is a medium which will carry your desired gene into the host. Why do we want to take it into the host? Because it will multiply, it will increase in number in the host. So that is why. And this is the thing which is going to carry it to the host. And what is it? This is plasmid. And you know, before the researchers used to take out the vector from the bacteria, which used to be the extracellular, extranuclear material. So if this is a bacteria, this is bacteria's nuclear material, this is extracellular material, which is a plasmid. The researchers used to take it out and use it as a vector. But afterwards, this vector was artificially prepared. This vector was artificially prepared and this is commercially sold. This vector which is made here, this PBR322, such many vectors have been formed. That means like we get different type of things in the market which are made in the factories, and then we get it in the market. Same way the vectors are also now commercially sold. They are made in the labs and then they are sold. This is one of the vector which is sold, and the name is PBR322. This is a vector in which we will put our gene, the desired gene, and then this vector will go into the host. This can go into the host where our desired gene will multiply. Now, I was telling you what are the characteristics of vector. The vector, many characteristics I told you. I told you that it should have origin of replication, ORI, origin of replication. It should have ROP, protein of replication. Origin of replication is the place where the replication will start. That means from here they will start multiplying in number. ROP, this will provide the protein for increasing in number when the desired gene will increase in number. Okay, then these are selectable markers, ampicillin resistant and tetracycline resistant. That means by this, what I told you, that when you go to the town, you all wear your uniform so that you can be marked among the in the market. You can be marked among all the tourists that find these maroon blazer students are ours. So same way, these are ampicillin and tetracycline. They are selectable markers by which we can identify, like this is, yes, this is a plasmid in which we have inserted our desired gene. So these are selectable markers. And see here, if you see, the marks have been made here, 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 here also at two places, here. Now what are these? See, PST1, PUV1, ECOR1, CLA1, HIND3, BMH1, SAL1, PUV2. What are all these? These all are endonucleases. These are endonucleases. Endonucleases. That means what are these? These are the enzyme which make cut on the plasmid, which is used to cut the plasmid. And see, and what are these where this mark has been made, where they touch? These are recognition sites. These are recognition sites. PST has, by PST we have made an arrow here. These, this, this, these two, and this we have marked here. This is another, this is another. These are recognition sites. Recognition sites means these are the places where the cut will be made. Recognition sites are the places where the cut on the plasmid will be made, where we will cut it. And what is used to cut it? PUV will make a cut here. PUV is the endonuclease Proteus vulgaris 1. It can make cut only here. PST1, Providencia stuarti. This can make a cut only here. Then we have another endonuclease, PUV2. Its recognition site of PUV2, that means Proteus vulgaris. This is one of the endonuclease. It can make cut only here at this place. SAL1, which is Saccharomyces albus, its recognition site is this. Its recognition site is this. That means it can make a cut only here. I'll mark the recognition sites with red color. I'll mark the recognition sites with, it can make a cut here. PUV2 can make a cut here. Then PST1, which is Providencia stuarti, can make a cut here. PUV1, which is Proteus vulgaris, this endonuclease can make a cut here. That means recognition site of this endonuclease is this. ECOR1, that means Escherichia coli R1. This endonuclease can make a cut here. That means this is the recognition site of this endonuclease. CLA1 is Creophanon latum. This is an endonuclease. This endonuclease can make a cut here, only here. Then HIND3, that means Haemophilus influenza 3. This endonuclease, this is an endonuclease. It can make a cut only here. Its recognition site is this. Bacillus amyloic, which is BMH1. This is an endonuclease and it can cut the plasmid only here. This is the recognition site. What we say recognition site, where it can cut. So we have got the recognition site and we have got the names of the endonucleases. So these are endonucleases. PUV1, which is Proteus vulgaris, ECOR1, Escherichia coli, Creophanon latum, Haemophilus influenza 3, Bacillus amyloic 1, Saccharomyces albus 1, Proteus vulgaris 2, Providencia stuarti 1, Proteus vulgaris 1. This is Proteus vulgaris 2 and this is Proteus vulgaris 1. All these names are of endonucleases. These are the enzymes which can make cut, and they can make cut at a specific site only. They cannot, it's not that E. coli, ECOR1 can make cut here. It cannot make any cut here. ECOR1 can cut the plasmid only here. Only at this site. Only at this site it can cut. If we talk about Bacillus amyloic, BMH1, it can cut the plasmid only here. So if we see in this vector, which is PBR322, we have how many recognition sites? Can you tell me how many recognition sites are there? Recognition sites, that means these are the places where the cuts will be made by different endonucleases. So how many recognition sites are there? Just count and let me know. How many recognition sites are there where the cuts can be made? Yes. Can you tell me how many recognition sites are there on this PBR322? Yes, beta. Answer my question. Yes, Paras Singh is saying 8. That's right. So we have 8 recognition sites which we have marked with these red dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 recognition sites. That means these are the sites where cut can be made. And who will make the cut? How can we make the cut? We are not going to use a scissor or a knife or a blade or a surgical blade. We are not going to use that. What will make cut over these recognition sites? At these 8 recognition sites, these enzymes will make cut, and these enzymes together are known as endonucleases. Like you all are known as students, then I have, so same way these all are known as endonucleases. Then I can say Paras, Suksahaj, Vanshika, this, that, different names, especially specific names. So these all are endonucleases and they have different names. PS1, PST1, ECOR1, CLA1, PUV1, HIND3, BMH1, SL1. These are endonucleases. These are different enzymes which are going to make cut on their specific recognition sites. They will not make cut here and there. They will make cut only at the point only at the recognition site which is meant for them. I told you endonucleases are very specific in nature. They may cut at a specific site, which are known as recognition site. So if there are eight, and when I was telling you the characteristic properties of the vectors, I told you there should be one recognition site. If you remember, when I was teaching you characteristic properties of plasmid, I told you that there should be just one recognition site. But if you see here we have 8 recognition sites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 recognition sites. And I told you that in a plasmid, there should be only one recognition site. If there will be more than one recognition site, what will happen? This plasmid will break into fragments. If we have one recognition site, we only one enzyme will make cut and we will be able to insert a desired gene here. But if we have more than one recognition site, then what will happen? Our plasmid will be of no use. So many, it will break into fragments. See, it has broken down into fragments. It has broken into pieces. So, but now why this commercial, this is sold, then why such PBR322, which is a commercially made vector, is sold? It has 8 recognition sites, and this is going to break into small pieces, small fragments when these enzymes, when these endonucleases will make cut on it. See children, this is a commercially sold vector. When it is sold to the research labs, to the people who are working with genetic engineering, they will not use all the 8 endonucleases together. They will use only one endonuclease. Suppose this PBR322 is sold to one of the students. Say this PBR322 is sold to Karthik. PBR322 is sold to Karthik. Now Karthik is not going to use PS2, PS1, PUV1, CL. He will not use all these together on one plasmid, because if he will use all these together, it will break into fragment. So if somebody is going to buy this PBR322 and work on it, they will not use all the endonucleases together. They will use only one endonuclease. So suppose Karthik, who has bought this, has used this Proteus vulgaris. Only this endonuclease he has used. Only this endonuclease, PUV2. He has used only this endonuclease, which is PUV2. Now what is going to happen? He will use it and this will break here. This will break, this will have a cut here. When it is cut, then the gene of interest or the desirable gene can be added here. Then that gene can be added here. So this is what, so it will not break into fragment. If it is, so it has got so many recognition sites, so that whosoever takes it or whosoever uses it can use whichever endonuclease he has. Suppose this is bought by Sukh Sahaj and Sukh Sahaj has Hind3, so he will use this only. He will not use others. Suppose it is bought by Paras and Paras has got BMH1, so Paras will cut it here only, so that anybody can use it. Whichever endonuclease they have given so many recognition sites for different endonucleases. Is it clear children? Is it clear beta? Yes, is it clear? Yes bache, is it clear whatever I have taught till now? I'll proceed further. Yes, so that means this PBR322 has got 8 recognition sites. How many recognition sites it has got? 8. 8 recognition sites where the cut can be made. How many endonucleases can work on these 8 recognition sites? Of course, 8 endonucleases. 8 endonucleases it has got. Then ORI also it has got. ORI. How many ORI it has got? It has got just one ORI. How many protein of replication it has got? One protein of replication. Now there are markers also by which we will come to know that this is our plasmid in which we have inserted our desired gene. So how many markers we have? One is ampicillin resistance, another is tetracycline resistant. So we have two markers, selectable markers. Selectable markers, we have two. So this is what we have out here. Now, how do these work? This I'm going to tell you. Before this, I would like to tell you this PBR322 is clear to you. These are different recognition sites. These are endonucleases. This is ampicillin resistant. That means ampicillin resistant, here it is provided. That means if this plasmid is put in, we have two selectable markers here. One is ampicillin resistant, another is tetracycline resistant. Now, if this particular plasmid is introduced in a bacteria, and that bacteria, if it is cultured or if it is transferred to a medium of ampicillin, it will not die there because it has this ampicillin resistant gene. Same way, if the bacteria in which this particular plasmid in which we have inserted our gene is kept, is cultured in a medium in which tetracycline antibiotic is there. Tetracycline kills bacteria, but this bacteria in which this plasmid will be there, it will not die because it has the gene for tetracycline resistance. That is why it will remain alive. Only those which do not have this tetracycline resistant will die. Okay, so these are selectable markers, and how do they work properly? I'll tell you that. Right now, you just keep this in mind that this is ampicillin resistance. That means if this plasmid, this is introduced in any bacteria, it will not die in the presence of ampicillin. And same way, because another resistant marker is tetracycline resistant. So if this plasmid is put into a bacteria and that bacteria is allowed to grow in tetracycline, it will not die because it has tetracycline resistance. So this is PBR322. Any query in this PBR322? Yes, any query? Yes, bache? So that I may start with some other vectors. Yes, bache? Any query in this PBR322? Any repetition? Any query? Yes, beta. Yes, beta, I'm not clear. Paras Singh is saying it's clear. Anybody else? Yes, others also. I want your response, at least 5 response. Okay, this is again from Paras. Other students, Suksehaj, clear. Okay. Okay, only 2 responses I have got. None of the girls. Little technical this is. Yes? Yes, beta. Only 2 have understood. I want more responses. Yes? Vanshika Singh, Chitra, Simran, Gunjan, Sunidhi. Yes? No response from your side. Repeat once, ma'am. Okay. I'm getting from somebody. Repeat once. Beta, I have to repeat this once. Now, PBR322. Before, see, basically, this is a vector. Why the vector is used? Vector is used to carry our desired gene, to carry our gene of interest into the host. This vector is required. We need something to carry our desired gene from that organism from where we have taken it out, uh, to carry that desired gene into the host where it increases in number, and then we get a lot of it. Okay, so these vectors were taken out from the bacteria. Before it was done that the researcher were, suppose this is a bacteria, this has its own nucleus here and it has a plasmid here. These plasmids were taken out from the bacteria and were used for carrying as vectors. How were they used for carrying? In these plasmids, endonucleases were used to break them, to cut them, and then in them our gene of interest was introduced. Suppose this is our gene of interest which has been introduced, and these plasmid used to act as vector, and these were inserted or introduced in the bacteria again, because they belong to bacteria. So in the bacteria, these vectors, these plasmids, they multiply in number, either the bacteria along with the bacteria or on their own. They can increase in number here also. And when the bacteria divides, because the rate of multiplication of bacteria is very high, that means they increase in number tremendously. So along with this, many bacteria, they used to multiply, many bacteria, and our gene of interest used to increase with that. This is what the vectors were used. Vectors were used to carry our gene of interest from to the host where we want it to increase in number. Okay, so this is the use of vector. Now there are some vectors which were artificially made by the scientists. The scientists, they made some vectors which were artificially made, and these were used as vectors to carry our desired gene. Our desired gene was introduced somewhere near the ori. Suppose this is the ori, and this is, here we introduced our desired gene. This is the desired gene which we have introduced. Okay, this is ori, and near ori our desired gene was introduced. This red color is our desired gene which we have introduced. Now, and then this particular vector is introduced into the host where it multiplies, increases in number. Now, what is this basic? This is an artificially made vector. Now, what does this artificially made vector consist of? This artificially made vector consists of ori. Ori is origin of replication. Ori is origin of replication, and every vector should have this origin of replication, because if this origin of replication will be there, then only this will increase in number. This will make multiple copies. Many copies will only be made of a desired gene if there is a ori. If there is a ori. Because ori is the point, origin of replication is the point where replication is done, where they increase in number, where multiple copies are made. Now, how the multiple copies are made? For that you need some raw material, and that raw material is in the form of proteins. Like for making a wall you need bricks, so bricks has to be there. So for multiplying you need protein also. So that proteins comes from protein of replication. So this plasmid should have protein of replication also. Ori is there to increase in number, to multiply. ROP is there, protein of replication is there to provide raw material for the multiplication of the desired gene. If ori is there, this will increase in number, multiple copies will be made, and our desired gene will also increase in number. Besides this, we should have selectable markers. We have two selectable markers. One is ampicillin resistant, another is tetracycline resistant. This is ampicillin resistant and this is tetracycline resistant. That means wherever this plasmid, whichever bacteria this plasmid goes into, if this plasmid is introduced in this bacteria, suppose this is the bacteria and this plasmid has been introduced here, this plasmid has been introduced here. Now this bacteria has this ampicillin resistant as well as tetracycline resistant. So if this bacteria is cultured in ampicillin, if this is cultured in ampicillin, what is ampicillin? Ampicillin is a antibiotic. This bacteria will die or not? This bacteria will not die because it has got this ampicillin resistant gene. Ampicillin resistant. Same way, if this bacteria is grown in tetracycline, which is again an antibiotic, this will not die because it has tetracycline resistant. So that is why these markers are there. If our bacteria are allowed, which have these plasmids in them. That means these are our bacteria because they are not dying in ampicillin. They are not dying in tetracycline because they have gene in them for ampicillin resistance and for tetracycline resistance. So these are known as selectable markers. Selectable markers are there. Then besides that, there are, you know, recognition sites. Recognition sites are the sites where they can be cut. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 8 are recognition site, and suppose this site, this recognition site can be cut only with SAL1, Saccharomyces albus 1. This SAL1 is an endonuclease or is an enzyme which can cut. Is an endonuclease which can cut only here. BAMH1, this is also an endonuclease which can cut only here. HIND3 is an endonuclease which can cut here. CLA, Creophenon latum, is an endonuclease which can cut here, make a cut here. ECOR1 is an endonuclease which can make a cut here. PUV1, that is Proteus vulgaris, is an endonuclease which can make a cut here. PST1, Providencia stuarti, is an endonuclease which can cut this plasmid here. So we have this plasmid which is artificially made in a lab. It has got 8 recognition sites for 8 different endonucleases. Okay, so that if suppose Amit Katoch is taking this plasmid, and Amit Katoch has say Providencia stuarti. So Amit Katoch will make a cut here. Amit Katoch, because he has got only this endonuclease. So Amit Katoch will use his PST1. He will make a cut here. Okay, and will insert his desired gene here. He will insert his desired gene here. So this is what recognition sites are. This is what endonucleases are, and what are these selectable markers, how these are used, this I'm going to tell you. Okay, this is what ORI is, and this is what ROP is. This is all about PBR2. Any query in this now, or shall I switch over to another topic? Yes, not another topic, the same topic I'm going to tell you. Yes, so this is PBR322. Now is it clear? Now is it clear, PBR322? Yes? Yes, clear, beta? I want your response. I'm not getting any response. And the people who made it, they were plasmid Bolivar Rodriguez. Okay. Bolivar Rodriguez were the one who made it. Then there are PUC. One more, okay. One more vector which is used. One more vector which is used. One more vector which is used is PUC. PUC. This is one more vector which was developed in the University of California. So the name given plasmid University of California. This was another plasmid. Now here in this plasmid, rest is same, everything is same, but the selectable marker which it uses is an enzyme producing. The selectable marker in this case, selectable marker, that means which is the marker, the identifying mark is enzyme producing gene. Enzyme producing gene. This is the selectable marker in this case in PUC. Then there are, you know, T plasmids, which are, this is also a type of vector. This is also a type of vector. Now another vector which is being used, another type of vector which is being used is T1 plasmid. This is a natural plasmid. There is a bacteria named as Agrobacterium tumefaciens, if you have heard the name. Agrobacterium tumefaciens. This Agrobacterium tumefaciens causes tumors. It causes tumors in dicot plants. You know dicot plants like rajma, like chana, pulses. Okay, in these plants it causes tumors. Now, how does it cause tumors in this? This Agrobacterium tumefaciens, which is a pathogen, this pathogen, how it causes tumors in dicot plant? This is a pathogen. It causes, how does it cause this? What it does, it sends its DNA in. And that DNA which it inserts in the plant cell is known as tDNA. That means Agrobacterium tumefaciens inserts its tDNA into the plant cell. Agrobacterium tumefaciens has tDNA or transfer DNA which it inserts into the plant cell. It inserts into the plant cell. Now, this tDNA, what it does in the plant cell, it delivers, it goes to the nucleus, it reaches the nucleus, and in the nucleus, it undergoes, it brings about multiplication.